There should always be a message behind the music.
A 1, 2, a 1, 2, 3, hey! We want the glory of the Lord to rise among us. If you came to have a good time, let me hear you sing, yeah! Sing, yeah! Yeah! Hey, yeah! Listen.
When music is in your blood or a part of you, it's hard to sing something that you don't feel or to sing something that's not true to you. When you hear this album, I want you to not only enjoy the music, but understand the message that the story tells. This album is a testimony that with God, even though things feel like it's the end, He's there to save the day. He will never leave us nor forsake us. Let the music and the message guide your mind to see the movie that the music is filming. The most challenging part of creating this album was struggling with fear. The fear of it not being good enough, or the fear that I won't get the support that I would like, or just the fear that people won't enjoy the music or understand what the music is saying. We are our biggest hindrances. Instead of trusting God and believing in the gifts that He placed in us, we allow self-doubt and discouragement from others hold us back and make us become fearful. I guess it's easier not to do than to try and fail. And that's where I was in the process of creating this album. I've been working on the album for about 5 to 6 years, and in the process of that, being discouraged because I would share things with other musicians and people that I was friends with, and they just didn't understand, the message, well, not the message, they didn't understand the sound and where I was going, and that was discouraging and caused me to stop and just regroup. Maybe, the way God gave it to me wasn't the way I heard it, or it was just making me doubt myself. So the criticism of myself will always be there, but I won't allow that or other people's words to stop me anymore. Being an artist and releasing original music is already terrifying enough. The thought that no one will enjoy the product that you've worked so hard on. Combine that with haters and you have a killed dream. You have goals and aspirations that are just gone because you're afraid to try and you are afraid to fail. I didn't want to fail. I didn't want to fail God, my supporters, or myself. This album is so different from my last projects. This album tells the story that I want to share. When you're listening to the album from start to finish, you'll understand me. You'll understand who I am, where God has brought me from, and where He's taken me. One of the hardest things with this album is getting outside of my own head and pushing myself beyond my limit. Pushing myself to be better than I've ever been before. You have to push beyond your expectations and push through the fog of haters. I told myself, it's grind time. After 5 years of stopping and starting and starting and stopping, it's time to get this album done and release it to my family and friends. I quit every day. I tell my friends that are aspiring, every day you have to build a building. And whether you add bricks, add sand, add rocks, you have to be productive every single day. But with that, because you're alone, you have to deal with the weight, have to deal with the baggage, the burden. So you're allowed to quit 10 seconds. After 10 seconds, you get yourself up and you get back to work. And so, yeah, I quit every day. But I take my 10-second pause, I regroup, and then I continue going. Because being an independent artist or a solo act, it's a lot of weight. People are always watching you. So it's just pressure, but that doesn't stop me. I take my 10 seconds to breathe and then I continue. Every song on the album was written by me. Not that no one was capable of writing great songs for me, but no one can tell your story like you can. That's why the album is called Ralph Williams. We've learned in church that when we go through things, we should testify and share the things that God has done and the places that He brought us out of, the things that He allowed us to go through, and how we are victorious through Him. That is exactly what the album is. This album is a testimony through song. The message of the album, and we learned in church a long time ago that people are freed because of the testimonies of people that go through. When you go through things, it's never for you, it's always for someone else. So this is my way of sharing my testimony, hoping that someone that's going through something can hear and they have hope, they have just courage just to continue to live for God, because it doesn't matter what happens, God is there. Keep fighting, keep pressing, keep pursuing, keep living. Don't give up. Don't lose the battle. And even if you lost the battle, the fight is not over.
Mike, myself, and my team, we've created 20 songs that went along with the message of the album. But when it was time to thread the album, we wanted the message to be clear and to make perfect sense to the listener. The story is about that high place in God that we once were in. But because we weren't watchful, we started to lose that fire. And that's where the battles and temptations start within ourselves. After struggling with that, falling, being lost, we realized that it's time to find our way back home. First, we had to understand our wrongs and where we messed up. And then that's where the process began of repairing our relationship with God. I pray that you enjoyed the album. I pray that it inspires you to live on. I pray that it gives you hope. I pray that it encourages you to tell your testimony to someone else so that they might be educated that God can do it for them because he did it for you. This is Ralph Williams.